You're listening to The Village Thrives, a podcast about parenting and community. If you like this episode, be sure to hit like and subscribe. Go on then, you know you want to. Hello and welcome to The Village Thrives. This is our very first episode. I am Donna Rucco, joined by Bradley Hasemeyer and Christina Guerrero. And I must say, I am so excited to be working with these guys again. Hi, guys.
Hi, sweet
Let's
Donna.
go.
How are you?
Let's go.
We're back.
Woo.
We're
back, baby.
The three amigos. Look at us.
Yeah.
That's right. We
Great.
started to work together, I don't know, over like a dozen years ago we worked together.
Yeah.
We did.
Did you say a
We
dozen
did.
years ago? Is that a thing?
Yeah, you could say dozen years. Baker's
Really?
a baker's
12?
dozen is 13.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
so
did a TV show back in the day when TV was still a thing, and now we just evolved with the times, and now we're doing a podcast.
Yeah, and what brings us together is our common goal of thriving while
Making money.
parenting.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought that we were going a different direction. Yes. No, you are right. It is about parenting.
Parenting, well, thriving while parenting, because I feel like that is a challenge in and of itself, to kind of show up, be our best selves, and handle our trials and tribulations with grace.
Yeah, and do it as a village. And I mean, let's hand it to Donna, who really kind of came
Yeah.
up with this concept, who came up with this idea. It came from her own need for a village while she was just brand new mommy and kind of feeling disconnected. I think so many parents feel that way. And so this is Donna's baby, and she just
Yeah.
brought us along for the ride. She swaddled us up, gave us
that's
a
good.
pacifier,
Yeah.
and said, "Come on, babies, we're going to
I
go
know,
do a
baby.
podcast."
You're right, Christina. It really was born out of feeling very vulnerable, very isolated, alone. I had, just in a nutshell, because I did speak about this briefly on the Meet the Host episode that we've posted. But basically, I had Easton in Phoenix, Arizona, and 2 weeks after he was born, I moved up to New York, and I was living in the suburbs. I didn't know anybody. There weren't many mum and baby groups around, and I felt this immense sense of loneliness, which I do know many parents feel. And they may feel that even with family and friends around them, I just didn't have the friends and family around me on a day-to-day basis because my family was, in Europe and back in California. So very, very spread out. And my husband's family is also in Europe and spread out around the world.
Because you're European, not because you guys vacation in Europe.
Right, yes, in case you couldn't tell from the accent.
You guys are so fancy. They vacation in Europe.
Yeah, she's
The
so
south of
fancy.
France.
That's a Scottsdale accent for people who don't know. That's Scottsdale, Upper Scottsdale, really, kind of.
Yes,
For
darling.
sure.
And from the
dialect.
upper Scottsdale quarter.
That's right. Remember when she would do her American accent? So good. Until she tried to say the word squirrel. Sorry to get on us a tangent, but that's you guys. Look,
We're gonna say
Entire
your
episode.
We're gonna
Yes.
we're gonna save all the things I can and cannot say with an American accent for
Oh.
episode episode.
It's
Whole
going to be its
episode.
own episode.
Yeah.
For sure.
Ken Burns documentary length, multi-episode episode.
Do you know what's funny? I'm saying the words that I can and cannot say with an American accent. My husband, if he was here now, he'd be like, "There's words that you can and cannot say in English," and I use them in the wrong context. So when I say like marinate and marinade, I always get those mixed up. I realized
That's a
that
tough one.
I was saying the word trough incorrectly for years. I was saying troughed. I added a T.
With a T.
Troughed with a T. And I've actually started writing down a list of words that I've realized I've been saying wrong all these years. But I digress. Like I say, that's another episode.
Yes.
Going
That's
back
another
to
Mommy brain.
building the village and where this was born. The idea was born was from. Okay, I don't have a village. I'm not the only one that feels this way. What can I do? I just felt this urge to to do something about it. Not that I felt like I was necessarily in the position to do anything then, because I was so fragile and like, I don't know, a shell of myself. But I did start writing down all my ideas and what this could become. And it went from a TV show idea, like a round table format with hosts, and eventually became the podcast that it is now. And so the hopes is for our listeners to be entertained, and to kind of laugh their way through the turmoil that can arise while parenting, and to just really feel like they're not alone. Ultimately, that's I think the goal of this show is to, someone's listening and they're just like, oh my gosh, you do that too. Oh my goodness, you've just given me a bit of information I didn't realize. Oh, great. Thanks for those tips. And so on,
Yeah, I
so it's
think the
just,
idea too, what have always found very helpful is to not feel alone, but also just to be seen, to
Mm.
be like acknowledged. Like, this is really hard. We are not PhDs in like Harvard psychology for children. We are just parents. I don't think that's a real school.
Yeah.
We are just parents who are just trying to go through it. So, yeah, just to be seen and on the same level is super helpful.
what I really love about our village that we're creating here is how we are all from really different backgrounds.
Yeah. I love that too.
Again, for those listening, if you're just joining us now, then do go back and listen to Meet the Hosts episodes that we've uploaded, because it will give you a bit more of an insight as to, our backgrounds and our families. And obviously we have lots of episodes coming up where you'll really get to know a bit more about us in, on a deeper
And
level.
the
But
details are coming.
that's what was important for who we have as our cast, because Bradley can talk about things that I have no expertise in. The same with Christina. And I love that because I'm learning so much about you, even though I've known you guys for years, but I'm still learning more and more about you as we are doing this. And as we're shooting our episodes, we're finding out more about each other all the time. And it's wonderful. And even though we are spread out across the country, there is that sense of connection, which is again what we're doing here. The Village Thrives. We don't have to all be living in the same town, which kind of leads us into how a village has changed over years. But what we'll do, we'll start off with maybe just kind of discussing what our village was like growing up. So, Bradley, Christina, does anyone
Yeah.
want to kind of kick us off with what your village was like growing up?
Bradley, go for
Ladies
it.
first. Oh, please. Look at that. Look at that. We're just selflessly just handing the mic back and forth.
I'll take it. I'll take it
Take
from
it.
here.
Take
Thanks,
the
Bradley.
baton.
Thanks, Donna.
You got this.
Yeah, my village was always family, right? I'm Mexican American in the Hispanic community. It's very tight knit family on both my mom's side and my dad's side. Our village was in a very small town. It was quite the village. It's in a very
Basically a
small
village.
Yeah, it was basically a village. But everybody lives there, right? Like, I went to my grandma came from Mexico. My grandparents came from Mexico, but the same hospital that my mom was born in, I was born in, and the same high school that my mom went to, all of her siblings went to, we went to. And so you kind of just know everybody knows everybody. My grandma was definitely like the matriarch of the family. She was the caregiver. We didn't have babysitters. We had grandma, and we had grandma's house. We lived with my grandma for most of my childhood. So, and if we weren't living with her, um, other cousins were living with her. So our village was very, very, very tight knit. I loved it. I loved having family close by. I loved having that connection. I loved a random Sunday, and all the cousins were over. You didn't plan for play dates, you didn't plan for pickups, you didn't plan for, we didn't take vacations, but like everybody was just always together and always willing to like lend a helping hand. And I took it for granted. And now that I don't have it and don't have that for my children, I see just like how important that time in my life was.
Mm. This kind of plays into what Donna said before in terms of our diverse background, because it's so funny. My experience was the total opposite.
Mhm.
So my parents, and actually similar to my wife. So Kirsten is my wife. We've been married coming up on 15 years. But she and I both had a similar situation, which was our parents. didn't really love what was going on in that extended family. Like, their parents they didn't really care for the way their parents were kind of involving themselves. So they left Alabama. I was born in Birmingham. We moved to Knoxville, also for work. Back in the day, you moved for the job. That was just the way it was. It wasn't like now where either you're working from home or you move to somewhere you want and then you find a job. It was like wherever the work is, that's where we go. So we moved to Knoxville, but I didn't really know any of my cousins, my nieces and nephews. I would see once a year, twice a year. My grandparents, we would go down to the summer, stay for a week, kind of thing. And both sets lived in Alabama, so it'd be fairly easy to see them. But it was so wild to me that my friends would go to school with their cousins. I was like, that is such a strange thing. Like, you're on this football team. That's your cousin, like your real cousin, not just like, what's up, cuz? Like, that's your actual cousin. Like, you guys are in Easter pictures together. Like, I could not understand this. And so it was interesting because I've never even thought about this till now, but that really set up our family for the way we were because we've moved around a lot, being freelance and being in the entertainment industry. I've lived in Knoxville, Charlotte, Phoenix, LA,
New York.
Brooklyn, Virginia, and now Atlanta. And that's, basically, moving every few years. And so with that, you're not dragging around cousins and aunts and uncles and stuff. So it was a lot of long distance. And so you redefine family, which I know we're getting to as well. That idea of like, what is your village? What is your family? What is your tribe? And that also comes in a little bit of just kind of like, you can't pick your family. So it's like, you can pick your friends. So there are some benefits to that. But the downside is like, I don't really have a connection with my aunts and uncles and cousins in the way that some of my other friends do. So that was just
Interesting.
kind of like how we grew up.
Wow. Yeah. I guess you just always assume that, oh, things are changing now. Like, as Christina said, I'm a very similar situation to Christina, actually, where I grew up with, like, literally, my mum and dad had split up when I was 6 months old. So would go over to my dad's every other weekend. So I'd see him. In fact, my dad's youngest brother is only a couple of years older than me. So he was almost like a brother, I would see my dad's brother. He's one of five. So I'd see all his brothers. In fact, one of his brothers lives in Canada. So I had two cousins that I didn't really see much growing up at all. Maybe once every 10 years.
Wow.
On my mum's side, that's where my main village was. Grew up with, everyone was like kind of lived around the corner. My mum's brother and her sister. I went to school with my cousins, David, Karen, and Adam.
Shout out.
Yeah, give them a shout out. That's my mum's sister's kids. So that's my auntie Cheryl. And then my mum's brother had two boys, and they were a little bit further out than us. So maybe like a 20-minute drive. So they went to a different school and they were a bit younger than us. But my cousins, David, Karen, and Adam, to me, they were like my brothers and sister. Like me and Karen are like really, really close. We definitely were really close growing up. And we would, as I said, go to the same school. Even after school, I would go to their house until my mum finished work, and then my mum would pick me up. Nearly every Sunday or every other Sunday, we'd all go to my nan's house, my grandmother. We call her Nan,
Yeah,
Nanny,
yeah.
Nana. And it was it was all coming together, food, music, and just just being, especially the holidays. I mean, I think of Christmas and
Yeah, for
the
sure.
big holidays, all the family together. I didn't know any different, other than obviously then seeing my dad. And in fact, my dad's mum moved to Essex. So I was born in East London. My mum's side of the family lived in Essex in the suburbs, and my dad's family kind of grew up in London and like a place called Manor Park. And then eventually my dad's mum and her husband moved out to Essex. So then they were closer. So I'd see them even more. And I remember the different cultures of like going to my Jamaican grandmother's house. As soon as you get to the door, you just hear the music, boom, boom. The music would be going. You open the door, she's standing, she'd have a cigarette. She's got she's always something cooking on the stove, always in her cast iron skillet.
Always.
Cast iron skillet would have like plantain and like ackee saltfish, and always something going, and music always on. My mum's side would be a little bit more conservative, and just a bit quieter, you know. So I had
tea and
this too.
crumpets with doilies.
This is why I can be painfully shy and quiet, and then I can just go "Rah!" the next
Rock
minute.
out. Yeah, when you need to.
You have the
But
best of both worlds.
definitely the best of both worlds. And as Christina, you pointed out, once I had children, once I had a child, once I had Easton, it really hit me of how important that was and how much that meant to me. And it hadn't hit me in any other way before, other than obviously I moved to America and I was like, oh, I really miss home. I miss all my family and friends, all my close friends. But once I had Easton, I realized, oh my gosh, now he's fortunate. He's got two older brothers and an older sister from Dermot's first marriage. But he doesn't have the cousins his age, which I really now, I'm so grateful that I had that experience. And so I have to cultivate that. I have to, encourage that, build that, nurture that for him. And yeah, I'll make it such a priority for him to have play dates. And as you said, Kristen, you're scheduling them. Whereas when you're like born into a village, it's just there. So that's the difference. It's like we are now, not all of us, but a lot of people, because we're so spread out, are building a village rather than inheriting one, you know?
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously we've spoken about our villages, like growing up. I mean, I guess we can look at like how the village has changed. I think that's part of it, which is we travel a lot more than we ever have, I think, as people, as humans. Obviously I'm from the UK, so I moved country. And I felt like now looking back, even though I have made it a mission to create a village, I've realized now, before I had Eastern, I would say I much like you, Bradley, you've bounced around the country. You realize, oh, I've actually built a village everywhere I've gone. And before you have children, you don't necessarily call it a village. You just call it
it's just your
networking,
friends.
finding a group of friends.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
So I think obviously I'd love to dig in a bit deeper as to how that's been for you, traveling around and building a network of friends and trusted, like finding people that you trust.
Yeah.
Because that's the big part of it. I think a village is people you trust.
And then I have a follow-up for Bradley too. So if you didn't have it, then you kind of don't know what you're missing, right? I mean, although I feel like kids who are, only children aspire, like they would love to have like a sibling because they see their other friends have it. So did you feel like you were missing out on something? And now that you have children, do you try to cultivate that family dynamic, or are you like more about building and cultivating your own village wherever you are?
The great question. I'll start there. I would say I didn't really miss it because there wasn't, and this is maybe, chicken or the egg. I wasn't close with any of my cousins. Like I felt like I didn't have anything in common with most of them. And now that we're older, that still kind of holds true. There's like a couple that like, oh, we may have some overlap. It's like sometimes your family members, you're like, if we weren't family, I don't know if we'd be friends, right? Kind of thing. And that's the beauty of family.
Yeah.
It kind of forces you into a relationship that you might not choose. And that's good because you have to learn to get along with people that maybe you don't have anything in common with. How am I going to talk to, my cousin who loves video games and math, and I'm over here playing football and soccer? It's like, but I got to do something, so like there is something really cool about that I think I missed out on. But I didn't really miss it from that standpoint. But again, maybe had I cultivated friendships because we were around each other enough, maybe that would have been easier. So I don't know. So I didn't really miss that.
I wonder if it's different from. I'd love to hear what Kirsten has to say about it, because she had a very similar upbringing, I think, to you by the sounds of it. But I wonder if it's different for women versus men, because we are naturally the nurturers and the gatherers, and men are the hunters. So I wonder if, from your point of view, of like, well, that, the community, the sense of community is not as important for me as a male.
Yeah, I hear that.
As it might be for a female.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I ever want to do is speak for Kirsten. That never goes well. But what I might think is, so she was born basically in LA, moved to Maryland when she was young, But her aunt and cousin were really close by. So she did stay really close with them. So there was an element
Okay.
of kind of family there for her. Yeah, I think because like you said, Donna, when you move around a lot, you don't even know you're making new community, but you have to. Like it's a human thing, and you find your community somewhere: church, gym, work. So you kind of figure out how to find that. And I would say
Mm.
that's probably more what we're looking for now. We are closer to family. My sister and her family live in Knoxville. It's about 4 hours north of Atlanta. Could be 8 depending on traffic. Hashtag Atlanta. But and then I mean, FaceTime has really added an element of at least kind of connecting in a different way, right? It's
Yeah.
like I wasn't going to write letters to my cousins, and I probably wasn't going to call them on the phone, but like a FaceTime kind of thing is good. And Kirsten's much better at maintaining those cousin relationships, like making sure Ellis and Loic are still connected to their cousins, no matter how busy we are. Like, oh, let's call Matthew and see what he's up to. Let's just try.
Yeah.
For me, I don't really think that way. It's kind of to your
Mm.
point, but
Hmm.
Well, that's
yeah,
like the modern digital village. That's what we're seeing now. It's gone from, and we're obviously generalizing here. There's many parts of the world where people are still in their village, they're
still,
still in their
yep, yep,
community, and that's such a beautiful thing. But for those who have spread out, have spread their wings and flown further distance away from where they grew up, away from their parents and their
yeah,
best friends, I think that the advent of social media is a blessing. I remember when I first moved to LA in 2005, the way I communicated with my mum was Skype. Remember Skype?
Skype. Oh my
Skype.
gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. We would be
Yeah.
on Skype right now if we had done a podcast in '05. You're right.
Right. So that really helped bridge the gap.
Sure.
So I felt like even though I wasn't in her presence, or any of my whoever I called, I wasn't in their presence, but I would schedule it. I don't know because I don't think your phone would always ring, or you might miss it. Not like FaceTime now, you can,
Well, you had a
or
huge
WhatsApp.
time zone difference, so you had to schedule.
Yeah,
You couldn't just like casually, oh, it's
true,
3 in the
true.
morning.
Yeah,
So, oh
yeah.
well.
Well, now we do, through WhatsApp
Yeah.
call, video
Yeah.
call and FaceTime. But yeah, I think that social media is a great way of staying connected with your friends and family and meeting new friends. And also just technology in general, the way we can communicate. Like now, for example, we're
Yeah.
shooting a podcast. We're
Yeah.
in different parts of the country, and I can see you, I can hear you,
Yeah. It's cool.
and yeah, it's really cool. So our village can be on screen,
Yeah.
right? I think
Yeah.
it's all about if you connect with someone. So if you have that connection, um, yeah, then you're starting to build your village anyway,
Yeah,
right?
I'm finding it harder as I get older to to find connections. Like that's why I feel like family, even like cousins and stuff who I've lost touch with, long long ago. I left home and moved out and stuff and was like family good riddance. It's not really now until now that I really see the value in it. But even like cousins, what's so great about family is that they kind of knew you when you've had that already, that relationship, and it just falls into place. Even like the cousins I have nothing in common with, it just like we all kind of fall back into our roles, and it's everything is really comfortable. Same with friends that I've had for 20 years. You just can like show up and just be authentically you. Where now, as I'm getting older, and like the village and the community is a little bit more, I don't wanna say superficial because it's not superficial, but, like, based in school groups and based in,
Yeah.
like, my friends become the friends that Mateo and Sebastian have, so hopefully they have a good judge of character.
Well, I think you're playing the numbers game, right? Like I have a group of friends and I have 2 sets of guy friends. One are basically pastors and the other are basically frat boys. And so I'm
My
able to
gosh,
walk
you have
between the
range,
2. I
Bradley.
have range. I've
You
got the
have
diversity that
range.
Donna's got. Yes, I've got range like you do because you're Jamaican grandma. But with them, like I've got 25 years of
Mm,
friendship experience. Like it would be very difficult now to start a friendship with an adult and have that level of experience. And what is changing in your life is so much from that like 15 to 30, that 15 years of life is wild.
Do you think there's any downsides to digital connection? Do you think it's all pro? Or do you think there's any cons?
Here's
I
what
mean,
I
I
would
guess it.
say.
Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was gonna say, I think like everything, there are pros and cons to that. The pros, it's convenient. It's great. I
Yeah.
need to connect with someone right now. The cons, it's convenient. And real friendship and relationship is not convenient. Like, I don't want to talk right now because I'm doing something. I'm just gonna let it keep ringing. Someone comes and knocks on my door because they need something, boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna have to kind of stop what I'm doing
Mm.
and handle that, right? Or just kind of like family.
You could silence your doorknob.
What?
Oh, I don't think it's like an actual technical silencing of the door knock or the doorbell. I just like tune it out like it didn't happen. Like I
And then you
silence
pull
it.
the curtains and they see you. Christina, I see you in there. I'm not here. No one's here. What is happening? Have I
Yeah,
entered
no,
a silent shell?
but no, but yeah, you're right. Like it's putting the effort in, you know, like it's convenient. Like for me, it's convenient. My family is in Washington State, right? My family they're still a village. My mom and my two sisters live with all in a mile of each other. My sister has kids. My other sister has now grandkids. And so they have a village. They have, mom, can you pick up the baby? Can
Yeah.
you pick up from school? Can you do drop off at the, like,
Those elements are missing, and that's a
I miss
huge
that.
deal.
It's
yes,
Yeah.
and I do
huge.
have like a village, right? I have a village. I
Yeah.
have people that I can reach out to that I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, you know, so and so's mom, can you do me this huge favor? But I feel so like
Oh,
I don't know. It's just different. Even though they're like, yes,
Yeah.
how can I help? And if somebody reached out to me, I'd be like, yes, how can I help?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's still this feeling within
Yeah.
like within these, I don't want to call them superficial villages. So if you come up with something better, but like these villages where it's not that you're not that comfortable or you're not that solid or you're not that, you know, I have a group of friends and family that if I needed something, they could do it in this other group. Not that they wouldn't. It's my own stuff that I'm carrying to it. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
God, I don't want to bother you. This is too much.
I totally understand that, and I feel that as well, 100%. I'm like, oh, when I hear I'm like talking to my friends back home or that live near their parents. Well, oh yeah, I'm just gonna drop
Yeah.
the kids off to my mum's, and you know, like it's
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I can come and join you. Let me just quickly call my mum to come pick the kids up. I'm like, you have that at your beck and call. You know, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
that I'm almost like envious of that. I'm like, so when my mum comes to visit, obviously we all want to be together, but I'm like, oh mum, can I just pop out quickly and do the things that my other friends do when their mum's around? But there's
100%.
definitely things we take for granted, and we don't know what we have until it's gone, do we? So I grew up in Essex, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to get out of here. And then I'm gone, and then I'm like, I miss it. I miss the culture. I miss my family and my friends, and just the banter. There's a certain thing about home and the way people are that's just like, I miss that now. But years ago, when I first moved away, I was like,
Yeah.
peace out.
Right.
I mean, that's very similar to like my experience where I was like, you know, I'm out. I'm going to go and see the world and do all the things. And now that I'm older and I have children and I've gone through some crazy health stuff, I see the value in that kind of connection, so much so that like we're moving to be closer to family.
Yeah.
My kids don't quite get it because they've not been like, we've been kind of in our own little place for so long as they've grown up, and they don't get it. But also when they're around family, they love it. They love that connection.
That's
And
great.
so we're like, it's so funny that I would choose to be anywhere not for my career, which
Yeah.
drop of a hat, I would have moved anywhere for my career.
Yeah.
That now it's like, oh, now I'm going to move because I want my kids and myself to experience a village, and experience family and have, you know, that grounding and that connection. So I feel like somewhere where they're oh, sorry. I found this on the web.
Oh, good.
She's
Thanks,
my
Siri.
realtor.
Siri is your only real village, right? Hello,
Totally.
friend.
And
I found this
ChatGPT,
on
we're
the
having
web.
a business party.
Tell her to pipe down. She has to audition
Yay.
to be on the cast of The Village
Yeah, you're
Thrives.
not on this cast, bruv.
But to give that to my kids, I just now at 46 finally see the value in it. Good grief. Took me a minute.
But it takes time, doesn't it? It takes time.
Can I just shout out to my school village that it's not as superficial. It's not, so I'm not trying to say that it's not important to me, and my contributions to them is not important to them, but we are a village out of what's the word I'm looking for?
Circumstance
Necessity.
and where you are in your group.
Circumstance.
And I understand what you mean. You don't mean superficial like, oh, it's so superficial. You mean superficial as in it's not as deep as your rooted, your
Right.
family roots. And that comes with time.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, over time you can build that
sure.
with people. So I'm sure, hopefully no one takes offense to you saying the word superficial. We'll find, as you said earlier, let's find a better word for just maybe
because it's
new friendships or
it's homework and pickups and play dates in school. Like that's what our friendship is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for it too.
I think it's the difference between being a volunteer and it's your job. When it's family, it's your job. Like it's kind of built in, right? And you don't feel bad. Like if the server's like, can I get you water? You're like, yeah, that's your job. Please. I would love some water. But then if a random stranger is walking down at a restaurant and they notice you're out of water and you're like, hi, can I just, would you, this is weird, but like, could you give me some
you know
water?
What? Forget it. I can do it myself.
It's fine. You know what? Forget about it.
So true. Yeah.
Because the volunteer side of it is like, of course they're going to do it because they love you and whatever. But it's just something different when it's like, hey, mom, I'm dumping the kids.
Yeah.
Because this is your job. We're in the family together.
Right.
So it's almost like and this might not be the right word either. I was going to say entitlement.
Superficial entitlement.
No, I know it's terrible.
All of our listeners, we would love some help with the verbiage here. Maybe you guys have already come up with it. We're trying to reinvent the wheel. We would. I'm sure there's a book with a great label about this, and we're just over here trying to spitball.
Maybe
mom friends.
Nah,
just
mom friends. I don't have a lot of mom friends. That creates tension. So,
oh my gosh, I just want to say something really quickly. If you're listening, then I'm going to describe this. But if you're watching, you already see this. But I just want to give a shout out to Bradley's dad hat. Nice one.
Oh yeah.
And Christina's mum bun. I love it. Hair up. Yeah. Ready to go.
In the costumes.
The mum bun is the way to go. You just scoop it up and off you go.
It's been crazy. It's been a lot. This is what this podcast is about, right? We're juggling all of the things all of the time. I had two choices. I could comb my hair or I could get to my kid's school. And I got to my kids. That's it. Those were my two choices. But nope, sorry, hair.
Oh,
it's
sorry,
not going to be you this time. Donna, you look beautiful, by the way.
You look great. Donna's just on point.
I feel like I should have had a hat or I should have had the hair up. I feel a bit boring. Do you know what I mean?
You're
my
letting your
hair's
hair
down.
Yeah.
Just we're talking
Got
truth.
makeup on.
I have got a bit of makeup on.
Look at that.
Put in a bit of special effort I did today. So here's an interesting fact from the Harvard Center on the Developing Child. It's a peer-reviewed.
There is a Harvard Center for Developing Child.
No, I think this is just made up. Hit us with some facts.
Do you reckon it might?
Okay.
Maybe I made it up.
Yeah,
No.
so
child
real.
development research shows kids who have even one or two additional trusted adults in their lives are more emotionally resilient. More safe adults doesn't confuse kids; it strengthens them. So even if you don't have a huge amount of people, I think just having that, I said it earlier, someone you trust and someone that you feel safe around and someone that your child feels safe around. And even if it's just one person, that's very, very important. And it's also important for your own sanity, I think. We feel like when we have support, and I'm sure we've all gone through our own versions of really needing support at certain times. When people have pulled through, you really get to know who your friends are when shit hits the fan. Basically, there's certain things that happen in life, and you get to see and learn who your friends are. And look, it's just a continual process. I think our village changes, right?
Yeah.
And the village is a relationship with one or more people. So
to your point, you have to be, you have to build it. You have to be proactive. And I think as parents, we can get in this like so easy to get in this like maintenance mode, because it's like every day, wake up, pack the lunch, get the kid off to school, sign the papers, answer the 32 emails from school just today. Right. And then you do that, and then it's kids here, and then it's bath, bed, boom. And then
Yeah.
so
And then it's work, and then
yeah, and
it's
it's work for us in
right, and
between as
it's
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and then surviving and
So you look up and you're like, all of a sudden you're like, I haven't asked anyone to coffee. I haven't like been like, I haven't tried to seed into that, because I think a lot of times we either forget that it's necessary, or we kind of wait for it to come. And I've found that like you got to be a little proactive in
yeah, put in the
that.
work.
Put in
Yeah.
the work,
Yeah.
even if it's like disguised as a play date. Like sit down with the parent and have a
Yeah.
conversation instead of just drop the kid off. Maybe use that as a chance to connect with the kid. Oh, with the kid, that is your kid. So hopefully, but also with the parent in that
Yeah.
situation. But that's
I
just a
th-
nudge for myself too. That's not to shame anyone. It's just the
yeah.
reality as we get older, Christina, like you were talking about. There's lots of statistics about how much harder it is to make friendships as an adult than it
Mhm.
is. And talking to the dads out there, we are terrible at making friendships. And if we do have like, there is value in that like sports bar, let's watch the Eagles, we cheer together kind of thing. There is value in that. But when it comes to like the tough questions and the confidants and stuff like that, you gotta make that time. It could be like finding someone to go on a run with. And it's so funny because when I was hosting Midlife Crises, we were talking about this as guys. It's almost like you're trying to ask a guy on a date. You're trying to be
Totally.
like, hey, so you like running, and I'm training for this 5K. Do you want to, if you're not doing anything Saturday, you want to maybe run? I mean, we don't have to. We don't have
Yeah.
to. We can go to your place, my place, like what, and you're
And
just
then you have
like
to text each other, and then how soon is too soon, and then you guys take a selfie together and then post it
100%.
and say it's complicated. Is there so
Yeah,
much that goes into it?
that
But
was a
also
thing.
but also and I can just speak from my experience, and then, my friends as well, because we discussed this, is that like our husbands' friends are the husband, like, are the husband friends. So they count on us women, right, to cultivate our friendship, and
Yeah,
then they jump on board with so all the
Yeah.
husbands are friends. But that's
Yeah.
that's
that's
because
and that's
we put it in. But
that's not always the case.
I've tried to do play dates for the husband. I'm like, I'll plan a play date for
Yeah,
you.
go golfing. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I
I
know it
feel
is hard
like
for men. What is
then
that?
the
What is
play
that,
date,
Bradley? Is that from
the
no, no, what is that? What is that difficulty? Is it like stem from childhood?
it stems from malehood.
Yeah,
I
I was gonna
think
Oh,
say
it's
that's probably a guy
I
thing.
I I think because guys tend to connect over a doing, like like old school warriors. When you have a mission, you're in it
mm,
together. I've met a lot of dads that I connect with because we're at the park and we're doing, like, we're raising kids, right? Like, here's your mission, and you got a lot in common. And but I find that like going for coffee, sitting and talking is not naturally my move, right? And so trying to find those moments of like, we need to do a thing together to have conversation. Like if I'm playing basketball with someone, I'm going to have great conversation. Like, yeah, a little one-on-one. Yeah, what's going on? Oh yeah, like what's going on at home? Oh, cool. Do you have this job? Like, oh, what's this job? But I'm not going to just sit down and be like, so Mike, is it Michael or is it Mike? Oh, what are we talking about? Oh, cool. So, I mean, I guess just bring me up to speed. Like, where were you born? And like, and so I feel like that's what makes that harder, is because that takes time, it takes intentionality, it takes vulnerability, it takes
vulnerability.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
humility
that
key.
is
That
to
was the key
say, I
word there.
need a
Yeah.
friend. And you have
Mhm.
to lead with
Yeah.
like, this is what's going on in my life. If you keep it superficial, they're going to keep it superficial. So, and that's not for everybody. That's the other thing, is
Yeah.
kind of the dating thing, is like, you also have to kind of test the waters. Like, you also don't want to come
Mm.
out and be like, is it Mike? Great. So because of my childhood trauma, I have a problem process. And they're like, whoa, slow down.
I happily will start a conversation like that, and then they usually reciprocate.
Childhood trauma, childhood trauma. Someone from across the cafe is like, childhood trauma. Yeah, let's go.
Next thing you know, we're all sitting there having like a therapy session, and then we're the best of friends.
Great.
But so this is really interesting. So like the village thrives really. Do you feel like you you cultivate a village, or do you feel like you and your wife cultivate a village, or does she cultivate the village and then you are now a part of the village?
No, I would
Hmm.
say it's a combination, because there's definitely, I think we all know those couples, you love one of them, but not both of them. And so there's not always that
If you don't
cultivating.
know, then you might be the one that nobody likes.
100%. 100%. If only one of you is getting invited on something, it's a good telltale sign. Or if everything just went quiet, that's another good reason. Like, well, we can only invite one.
So
We
can
can't invite Lisa if Mike isn't going to come, and no one wants Mike there. Sorry,
And is it
Lisa.
Mike or Michael? Who knows?
See, I don't even know where to start with that guy. What do I even say to him? I don't know.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Yeah. So I think it's like it really is a little bit of both. I mean, some of it is like convenience. You start seeing the same dads at the same events
Yeah.
or whatever. And, I think if you come out too strong, that's a little bit weird, and that pushes people away. Again, it's like dating. It's like you just gotta,
Can it be
yeah,
like,
exactly.
hi, I'm Donna. Can I be your friend?
Where
Yeah.
when I first moved to Phoenix and I didn't have a single soul, I would like look out my window, and when a mom who had a kid around
Yeah.
Mateo's age passed by, I would walk out and like go introduce myself. Hi, I'm new. I don't have any friends.
And
I
that
think
was
our
probably
kids could play
fine.
together. She's still my friend.
See?
Oh, wow. I love
That's
that.
10
This
years
is part of our
later.
differences.
Nice. But
Yes.
do you know what?
Yeah,
Okay, so this
totally.
is the thing. So it's safe to say that the three of us are quite outgoing, right? So I don't think we find it hard to talk to others, right? In public. You can just go up to someone and talk to them, exactly what you said, Christina. But what about the introverts or people who just feel socially awkward? How do they go about building a village? Any thoughts on that? Shall I start?
Yeah.
No, because I have had some thoughts on this. I think that one thing you could do is go somewhere that not as that may not be so crowded. Maybe go to your local playground or your local library, which I have done every time I've moved. When I've been with my family, I've started off at the library. When I went to New York, the library is obviously lots of free events. You get to meet people. They do, reading groups, and just big shout out to libraries, hands down. No, I'm going off on a tangent, but there's value in your local library, and you're a new mum, big time. But I would say for someone who is a little introverted but does want to connect with others, go to somewhere like a library that's very kind of quiet and unassuming. Maybe join a mummy and baby group or a daddy and me group. And I think the key here is to show up, just to keep going. So every week you go, and it's not I'm going to go the first time and I'm going to meet someone and make friends immediately. It could be just the third or fourth or fifth session that you've gone. And maybe it's not you going up to someone. Someone might come up to you and just say, hey, you've been here, a few weeks in a row. Like, oh, what's your name? And so there might be that way of striking up a conversation with someone that you don't have to do too much to kind of start to garner. It's just, I feel like you have to step out of your comfort zone. I will say that. I think if you're naturally more,
You got to be patient.
Yeah, definitely. It takes time.
Yeah, you got to be patient. You got to give yourself some time, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also maybe one thing that might help is find a fellow introvert. Then you both acknowledge that you're not really good at this, and then you guys can like become friends that way.
That's a good point.
Maybe.
So but it's going to take one of those introverts to kind of come out of their shell a little bit and say, fellow introvert, I see you. let's hang out. But I guess I'm just trying to speak for or I'm considering those who may not find it as easy to just put themselves out there. Not everybody sees someone walking past their house with a child and he's like, oh, quick, run outside. I'm going to go quick. I mean, I've done something like that myself as well, but not everybody's like that.
My
So
husband my husband, who is an extrovert, I mean, an introvert, was horrified that I did that. But then he found a friend in the husband. So
It was
win-win.
worth it.
Yeah.
So Gibby, you're welcome.
Right,
Um,
exactly.
so yeah, I think overall, as we've learned and as we know, or even if we don't know, there is something that there is something to be said about having a village and creating and building a village. It's very important for us as humans. We need that connection, and whether we not acknowledge that or not, we actually do. Humans aren't supposed to be alone. You know, we thrive in numbers, and we thrive when we're around people who support us, and we support them, and we have a connection with. So however that comes for you, however that shows up in your life, I wish everyone a village. I hope everybody manages to either continue to nurture the village they have or to grow a new village if that's what you need in your life. I have a couple of
Or join our Village Thrives community.
Yeah, become part of our community. That's
Definitely.
part of it.
You're already here. If you're listening, just keep listening. We've got so much in store for you this season. I'm so excited for you know, for what's to come. Oh my gosh, we're talking about so many things and we've so many great moments and so much takeaway. I did throw out a few questions on social media. I asked, who is one person in your current village you're grateful for this week? And Karen _therapist says, my next door neighbor. She's always there to help and support me. So that's nice.
I aspire to like live in a neighborhood where we have like that kind of like I went to my friend's house and they're like in this cul-de-sac where everybody's connected. I just like the idea of like neighbors and having like that community where your kids can go across the street and hang out and you can, you know, hang out with your neighbor in the front yard. Like that just, I mean, it still exists. I know it still exists out there. And I
It definitely
just,
does.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that sense of community.
And for those who are listening who live in a village, who are in their village, they've inherited the village, grown up and they're there. Lucky you. Enjoy it and find the value in what you have, because for many others they're having
For sure.
to find that themselves. Like it's not
Like
easy
build
at
from
times
scratch.
yeah. So yeah, I think that a lot of people I'm just looking at these comments here, but I'm getting there's a lot of comments about mothers. A lot of people are saying their mum is their village, you know. That's quite a role that mums have. And I think that let me just double check before we end this or come to an ending. I think that's. Have you got anything else to add about a village? Is there any more takeaway for our listeners?
I think we've said it. I think there's you got to make an effort. There's value in it. It's worth it. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the building of the community. Don't compare it to your friends that you've had for 25 years because it's just different. And embrace that.
Yeah, I love that.
And also because I would imagine where we are now and like where we are now with technology is showing our children that village and community matters, right? Because these are social media kids and they're FaceTime kids and texting kids.
Yeah.
Like this is the world that they're growing up in. And so we have to, you know, we have to be able to show them how the importance of friends and friendships and family and connection. In-person connection is not just technological connection.
Yeah. And as we know, kids benefit from multiple trusted adults. So that's just a village helps you, but it really does benefit the child as well, ultimately. So okay. So this is our first official episode. And just to let our listeners know, we like to end on a high note, right? Because sometimes we've got episodes that may be a bit more heavy. We have episodes that are funny. We have episodes that are I'm going delirious now. But we like to end on a high note. So every episode we will be blessed with, wait for it, Bradley and a dun dun dun
Dad
joke.
I think we all said it at different times.
That is parenting too. We tried. We
tried.
thought.
We
and yet,
improvised.
Here we are. We'll get better at it. Each week we're going to get better, guys.
I
Not
did
even
say it was going
worry.
to end on a high note. There was kind of there might have been a bit of a dull note or a bit of a flat note.
Yeah,
but
a little flat. From the professional pop star, so she would know. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we hopefully that you have enjoyed this episode, and there's a lot of takeaway. But even if none of that matters, I'm going to bring you some takeaway right now that you can drop some beautiful jokes at your gatherings with your kids at pickup, embarrass them, embarrass yourself. All right, here's the joke, guys. How come you can't have 12-inch hands?
I don't know. How come you can't have 12-inch hands, Bradley? Tell us.
Because that would be a foot. Hey, KG on the money. Yeah.
I was like, if I know it, do I answer it? Does that ruin the dad joke?
No, absolutely not. You get 1 point.
Done.
We'll keep score.
Wow.
You got it.
Well done,
it's because we do things in inches and you guys like do things in
if I had said kilograms and
and millimeters.
Yeah, centimeters.
I know what inches.
You would have gotten that one.
That kind of wasn't fair for poor daughter.
Sorry, imperial versus metric shall be our next episode.
Well, yeah, between all things English and American, English versus American. What's the difference? Okay, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm so excited for what's to come. Thank you so much. And to all our listeners, if you enjoy this episode and you want to hear more, make sure you check out all our other episodes and come join our community at The Village Thrives across all social media. Also, let us know what you'd like us to talk about. I'd love to know what you think, what you would like more of, what you'd like less of, yeah, be nice. Yeah, be nice though, please. No trolling. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us at The Village Thrives. And remember, parenting isn't meant to be done alone. When the village comes together and supports one another, we thrive. We'll see you next time.
The way you taught me how to love me when I didn't love myself. Way you grant my every wish like a well. The way you took the heat in Texas and cooked it into breakfast, paving the way for me to excel. And there you are back in the kitchen, making my favorites. Doesn't get better than this. Oh, everything is precious when I'm in your presence. You make my world go round and round. Oh, every single second with you's another present. You lift me up when I'm feeling down. Life is so precious when you're around. Everything's precious when you're around.